Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 499 of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as always, and the YouTube channel, as well as NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. Only one video now until 500 NoDQ&A videos. Thank you guys so much for all your support over the past 3 years. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. But enough of that. Let's get down to your questions, and there are a lot of them with WWE Battleground this coming Sunday. Lots to talk about. First question comes from Key BF or Kai BF. Hey Aaron, I'd say the Battleground card looks pretty good. A little predictable, but solid nonetheless. What do you expect to happen as we're moving into SummerSlam next month? A little predictable. I would say that it's very predictable. Basically, Battleground is a filler pay-per-view. There's really no other way to put it. Clearly, John Cena's winning on Sunday with the SummerSlam advertising already out. We've seen the poster, the video leaked. It was posted on NoDQ.com on Wednesday. So everyone can see John Cena winning. I mean, I suppose there's always a chance of a swerve. And a couple of people have asked me if there's any chance John Cena could lose at Battleground, and one person asked maybe if John Cena could lose and then maybe win the title back the next night so WWE could stick to their original SummerSlam plan. I think that anything is possible. I mean, who knows? Maybe WWE could change plans briefly, maybe have John Cena lose the title and then win it back on Raw. The problem with that is it waters down the title. I think that I would rather go with the predictable finish of John Cena winning, just so you don't have too many title changes. I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of John Cena losing the title and then winning it back the next night on Raw. It hasn't been done in a long time, but still, the fact that we had Daniel Bryan lose the title so soon, and there's been a number of title changes in recent months, I'd rather just let WWE go with the predictable route and stick to their plan, rather than trying to throw everybody off and do some big swerve. But wouldn't put it past them to do something like that, especially when everyone was expecting Undertaker to win at WrestleMania, and we saw what happened with that. So anything's possible. If WWE feels it's too predictable and they want to throw everybody off, they could do something like that. But I think in all likelihood, John Cena retains the title. The match itself should be fine. I mean, I'm not expecting an all-time classic. And heading into SummerSlam, I mean, they've already teased John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, so I don't see that changing. If anything, maybe we could see a brief title change and then John Cena wins the title back, but I think it's unlikely that it happens. All right, this one comes from Wrestling Do 95. Yo, Aaron, do you think WWE will have Roman Reigns go one-on-one with John Cena in the near future? No, I don't. I think that Battleground will be the closest we'll be getting to a John Cena versus Roman Reigns one-on-one match. The two of them, my guess, they will stay away from each other most of the match, and maybe there'll be the brief period where they go at it. But at this point, I don't expect that match to happen because both guys are being protected. John Cena's John Cena. They're not going to want to have him lose any matches at this point, unless it's against Brock Lesnar or whatever. And same thing with Roman Reigns. They're protecting him. They're grooming him for the top spot as the face of the company in the future. So, they're going to avoid having those two go at it. Will they go at it in 2015? I think the odds are very good that maybe a year from now we'll get Roman Reigns versus John Cena. But for now, I expect WWE to keep them apart as much as possible after Battleground. All right, this one comes from Mr. Seppi. Hey, Aaron, what do you think of Lana as a manager? I think she does a tremendous job. I mean, I'm really impressed with how she's done in her role as the manager for Rusev. I think her mic work is fantastic, and she just plays the role really well. And, that's a big plus because not only is she hot, but she also can perform as well, and she's an excellent television character. So, I mean, you really get the best of both worlds with her, and, that's rare for a WWE diva where not only they're hot, but they're talented as well. So, she's really doing an excellent job in WWE for sure. All right, this one comes from Joa Hack 13. Hey Aaron, what are the odds of Sting debuting as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble and winning it? He could come in at number 30 where they do the countdown with the lights in the arena and then when they turn him on, he is in the ring with the bat. Well, why would he enter the Royal Rumble with a bat? I mean, that's kind of a heelish thing to do, don't you think? I think the chances of this happening are very slim. I think that their original plan here with the Royal Rumble was for Roman Reigns to win and go on to WrestleMania. So I don't see a legend coming in and winning the Royal Rumble. I think that if Sting does come in, it would be at WrestleMania, or, as I mentioned in a previous video, maybe doing something at SummerSlam or Night of Champions. But as far as him being in the Rumble goes and winning it, I just don't see that happening. And this one comes from Cy War. When Sting, I think hosting WrestleMania would be in order. What are your thoughts on that possibility of Sting being the host of WrestleMania? I think that if he's not wrestling at WrestleMania, that is your next best option, to have him in the guest host role. You could do that since you had Hulk Hogan guest hosting WrestleMania 30, and you could do the same thing with Sting. I think fans would prefer to see him actually get in the ring and wrestle one more time. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people are, criticizing the fan reaction to Sting. People are saying, when he was in TNA, nobody cared, but now he's in WWE. Why is everybody so excited all of a sudden? You have to keep in mind that in TNA, Sting was a full-time character who was in the main events all the time, and all the major storylines were built around Sting. There's a big difference between that and coming in as a legend and maybe doing 1 or 2 matches and going into the Hall of Fame. 2 very different things. People need to realize that, and not to knock on TNA again, but they somehow have this ability to take a guy who is a major star in another promotion and render them virtually useless and killing off whatever drawing power they have. We've seen it with Sting. We've seen it with Jeff Hardy. Even guys like Kurt Angle. I mean, these were guys that were huge stars, and they go to TNA and they're performing in front of 1,000 people at house shows. So I don't want to be negative on TNA, but it's really 2 very different things, and people need to realize that. Anyways, moving on here. From Child Incomplete. Hey Aaron, I was wondering, what do you think of Sting versus The Undertaker? Is this long-awaited dream match that may finally be happening past its time, or now the perfect time? Do you think Sting and Taker could deliver, or will it just be a flop? I think it's too late to do this match. I think now that the streak is over, Undertaker should not be wrestling. I would not want to see Undertaker wrestle again. Just doesn't feel right to me personally as a fan. And it should have been done 3 years ago in 2011 when that mock poster came out. There was a ton of hype about it. That would have been the absolute latest time that I think that match would have really made a huge impact. Even if they did it next year, if Undertaker beat Lesnar, I don't think it would have been quite as good. I think they would have been able to work around whatever limitations they would have, but still, it's definitely past its time now, and especially with the streak being over, not really a fan of that match taking place now. All right, this one comes from F15U. Hey Aaron, greetings from Argentina. I love your show. My question is, when do you think Bray Wyatt should win a single championship? I believe that it's not the right time for a WWE World Heavyweight title, but maybe an IC or US title. Your thoughts? I really don't want to see him win the IC or US title because those titles have been so badly watered down, and when you hold those titles, you're basically labeled a mid-carder. I think that winning one of those titles would actually do him more harm than good at this point. So, not really a fan of that happening. I wouldn't have mind seeing him win the WWE title at Money in the Bank if Daniel Bryan was coming back and they could have done something there. But, the opportunity just wasn't there with Daniel Bryan being hurt worse than expected. And, WWE wanted a babyface champion to go against Lesnar. It just didn't work out. But if Bray Wyatt's going to win a title, if he's able to sustain his momentum, I would like to see him win the WWE World title at some point, even if it's for a short period. All right, this one comes from DJXHero123. Hey Aaron, why do you suppose WWE didn't just let Reigns end Rusev's streak via pinfall to put him over a little more for Battleground, rather than have him win by DQ? I don't think it would hurt Rusev's momentum too much since he's going to beat Swagger. Well, I don't think that match should have been taking place to begin with. I think that that was a mistake to even book that match. Going back earlier with Cena and Reigns, when you have two guys that you're trying to protect, you shouldn't put them in a match together, because when you do, you're forced to come up with some sort of screwjob finish, which they did here with the DQ. This is a match they could have saved until next year, maybe after Roman Reigns wins the WWE title. You could do Roman Reigns versus Rusev. I mean, that's certainly a possibility if they're going to continue pushing Rusev as a monster. It doesn't really matter one way or another, because I think most fans will forget about this match that took place on SmackDown. I've already forgotten about it. So, I don't think it's a big deal that they did that match and then did the DQ. I mean, it just goes to show that, they just throw matches out there and don't really put much thought into how they're going to proceed. But then again, maybe they feel that way, that fans are going to forget 6 months from now, and they can just do the match as a cheap ratings ploy. All right, final question here from Derek J. 1993. What are your thoughts on Bobby Roode as a babyface? Please answer in video. I like it. I think he's doing a really good job so far, and I could definitely see him getting a big push, maybe winning the TNA title again as a babyface. I mean, I think he's an excellent heel, but it was a role that I feel was played out. He was a heel for a good about 3 years, and I think the timing was right to turn him and have him feud with MVP and those guys, Bobby Lashley. So I definitely think it was the right move for him to go face at this point. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A Video, episode number 499. NoDQ.com will have live coverage of Battleground this Sunday. I will be tweeting on Twitter, twitter.com/NoDQ, DOTCOM, and the feed will also be on NoDQ.com as well. So stay tuned to NoDQ for all that, and I will see you guys next time for episode number 500.